Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Classics, the show where we look at affordable cars of yesteryear, which have a sort of practical element for between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2003 Alfa Romeo Spider 916, a 2-litre JTS Lusso. The 916 series of Spider was made between 1995 and 2004. So we're within the kind of classic realm here. I define the cars I feature on Sensible Secondhand Classics as being over 15 years old, and all of them that were made certainly are. It's quite a lot of fun. Although I apologise in advance for the fact that the mount that I'm using this car has been supplied today by Callaghan, who has has supplied an awful lot of cars for the channel going back about a year. I mean, we've had things like the Maestro Van den Pla, Ford Escort Mark III, Peugeot 208, all kinds of exciting things. But this is a car I've been wanting to get my hands on for some time, and I'm really not disappointed. It's a very nice car to drive. The 916 Spider and GTV Alfa Romeos came out in 1995, although I think production started in 1994. There were a number of engine options available with these, but in Britain we only really got about 4 of them. Base one was a 2-litre twin spark at launch, Alfa Romeo's famous dual spark engine. That developed 150 horsepower and then later 155 horsepower. That was replaced in 2003 with the JTS engine, which is one of these. This has 165 horsepower. The engines, though, some of you might be more interested in are the Busso V6s. Now, there were a few of those. One of them was a 2-litre turbo but wasn't available in this country, rather like the 1.8 twin spark. So the 2-litre turbo was, I think, about 180 horsepower. It was more for places like Italy, where cars under 2 litres have less tax liability. The one that we got here was 3-litre V6 Busso, both in 12 and then later 24 valve forms. Later on, the 3-litre got enlarged to 3.2 litres, and that went up from 220 to 240 horsepower. 1.8 twin spark was used in a number of other cars, such as the 156 and things like that, as indeed was this 2-litre JTS. Weirdly enough, this JTS has absolutely and utterly nothing to do with the later 1.9, 2.2 and 3.2 JTS engines that Alfa Romeo used. Those were things like the 159, and they haven't got anything to do with the 2-litre JTS at all. The JTS was actually only in production in terms of the 916 Spider and GTV for about a year, so not really the most common type of this car that you'll find. One thing I'm very much appreciating in this car is the It's a red leather interior, which is very nice. These cars, I think, came pretty much exclusively with a 5-speed manual. I think some of the others had a 6-speed, but I don't believe there was an automatic actually available with these at all. Some of the Alfisti out there, I'm sure, will tell me differently, but I'm finding this very pleasant. It's funny that this car is just one of many based off the old Fiat Tipo platform, and yet it feels very different from a Tipo, and that was the beauty of it, really. I might say that I really like it, and I've been looking forward to driving this car for a very, very long time, and it's not disappointed me at all. Here we are, viewers. I've managed to find somewhere to park up. I do apologise for the wood noise. There will be a bit later on a demonstration of how the roof goes up and down, which I had filmed earlier with Callum, and it was mildly amusing. Did come slightly close to actually breaking it, but not close enough. It's actually absolutely fine. See, the Pininfarina connection of the design is very, very clear. This is a 2003 car, although it does have a private plate on it, and the JTS was only available from mid-2003 onwards. Now, the boot release internally is slightly broken, so I'm going to use the key. Make sure I don't put the key in the boot, and make sure I put the badge back, otherwise that will annoy a lot of people. There we are, there is the boot. Space over spare wheel is here. It's an unusual shape, this. I mean, it's not particularly impractical. It's not the most practical boot shape I've ever seen. I mean, you can buy the GTV, the coupe version, that has a larger boot space than this, because see, this car has to have somewhere to put the hood and things like that, which GTV does not. This is the red key. There are also a couple of other keys that you have to get with your early 2000s Alfa Romeo if you have the complete set. Callum's put a little Italian identifier on the plate for some reason. I do like these wheels. They're only 16 inches, but I think they suit the car quite nicely. Got the nail braking door handles, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but they work. And viewers, a red leather interior that Callum has had redone, and red carpets and red bits on the door cards. That little speaker tweeter thing has fallen off. That'll be replaced. Same window switches as an Alfa 166. There is the mirror switch and the button for the folding roof, which we had a lot of fun with earlier. If I just kneel down here, you can actually also see we've got... hold on a sec, viewers. Right, trying to get into the lockable compartment behind the seat, which I have now done. There's sort of more room in here for bits and pieces. The catch for it is just there. There is a little lidded cubby in there. A little bit of space behind the driver's seat depending on how tall you are. Glove box is here. There's also now an electronic boot release which doesn't work in this car. It's just one of the hazards of having an Alfa Romeo, I suppose. Interesting little side repeater. This is what's called a Phase 3 car. It's more sort of Alfa sort of 147 style. The Phase 1s were made from 95 to 98. Phase 2, 98 to 2003. been a phase 3 just in 2003 and 2004. These are the ones that also came with a 3.2 litre V6 Busso and not the 3 litre, although this 2 litre JTS engine was more common. Right, nice driving position in here. Even got a footrest actually. Typical kind of bits of Fiat and Alfa switchgear. Nice conventional handbrake and 5-speed gearbox. This car does have air conditioning. I don't think it's actually climate control. And these gauges, water temperature, clock and fuel gauge, are sort of angled towards the driver along with these vents, which feel very Alfa Romeo. Rev counter right in front of the driver, duty, and then a whole bank of things here. I even like the warning lights, and it sort of shows we've got the right hand door open. Don't know what that's saying. It's probably saying the passenger airbag isn't functioning or something. Absolutely tiny little petrol flap release. They're really, really small. Don't know why it has to be that small, but there it is. These stalks, I think, are similar to something like an Alfa 145, although the 145 has the heated rear window button on the end of the wiper stalk, and this doesn't have a rear-heated window because it's plastic. That isn't actually a rear-heated window, that's just a sort of maximum defrost setting. There is traction control, but I haven't actually driven that hard to date in order to set that off, so that's fine. Right, Callum did warn me as well, apart from the shenanigans with the hard top, well, soft top, which I will put in now, about how to get into the engine bay. This could be entertaining. So watch the comic interlude of the hood, viewers, and yeah, let's see if we can get into the engine area. Right, okay, we will
pull that handle out.
Okay, we
pull it towards you.
There we go. Pull that one.
Right forward, yeah.
Pull that one.
Now, press the button.
We've got to undo this bit here, I think.
That's all right. It's fine. It'll come
Okay.
out on its own. That's it. And just keep your finger on. And
I am.
all
There we
the
go.
way.
You can see it. This is actually a almost entire electric hood on this car.
I say you can do it manually, but I'm not. It doesn't need to be.
I think that side is actually stuck.
Hang it, stop.
You've
Do
got.
you didn't release it. Go back the other way. Take the tension off it. Just press it downwards. There we are. Alright, stop there. It's okay, you can do it. Make sure that that is always off when you do, otherwise it will just pull on the roof. Yeah, right, carry on with the process again. It will just keep going. There you are.
This is why I don't tend to fiddle around with electric hoods on my own.
It's just the catches that can catch people out.
So it's still kind of going down,
And then
the windows are up.
And that's it, then you're done.
Right, I'm not going to drive like this because you won't be able to actually hear me.
The sequence now.
So we'll now push this button down,
Yeah.
and we'll put the hood back up so you can actually drive.
Then make sure that that catch, just flick that towards me, that one as it comes down. That's it, so it doesn't foul.
And this one.
That one's usually
Okay.
okay. Just keep going then, and then just let it do its thing.
So we'll wait for the back bit to
And
do
then
it.
for these will squeeze themselves in.
It takes a little while for this, so they go
You hear
screwing
the
itself
click,
in.
And then now you can release your finger. And then put your hand outside to pull those bolts into the thing.
Like this.
Yeah, push that towards
That
you,
one's
that's it.
done.
And then you have to lean across and do the same. That's the
I'll
only,
have to just pause it there.
not bad.
There we are, viewers. The hood's actually up, and so I can continue on my way. Right, we're in. JTS engine, similar in a way to the twin spark, but only one spark plug per cylinder, a little bit more power, variable length intake manifold, and a different cylinder head actually on this. Headlamps are different because this is a phase 3 car. Massive plastic cover, not an awful lot to see really, but we have got things like the ABS pump just sitting there and telling you where things are. These little plastic covers on the side, this one and this one, apparently if you lose those are £150 to replace, and this one's unique to a phase 3 car, so not the easiest thing to replace. Under bonnet mat, and a nice red Alfa Romeo sticker telling you all the kind of maintenance that you need to do on your lovely Italian sports car. Yes, we do like it, viewers. I think it's time to go for another drive. One thing I would normally do is to film to the forward to flip the camera around, but because of the mount that I'm using today, which isn't a normal one, I've had to just borrow one, we aren't going to do that, so you're going to have to put up with more of me kind of talking. The gearbox in this car is really nice. It has a nice positive action to it. The handling is very good. The steering is excellent. I'm not really perhaps on the best roads for demonstrating that at the moment, being kind of just driving through these little sort of urban streets in Berkshire. I feel like I should be down somewhere near Lake Como in this, and I have to have the roof up, otherwise you can't hear me, and it is October, so it's not perhaps the sort of best weather for trying one of these, and yet it feels really good. Rides a little bit on the firm side, but then it is an Alfa, and it's kind of what you'd expect. Really, they do have more of a sporting characteristic than, say, a Lancia. Scuttle shake isn't too bad. I thought it would be worse in this, to be honest. The main thing about these cars really is that they do require a fair bit of maintenance and looking after. They're not the easiest things to actually necessarily just drive every day. They do have to be looked after. The Busso V6 and the twin spark in particular do require a fair bit of maintenance, and sometimes it's best to use a specialist to look after them. Cam belt changes are required on both of those as well. JTS is generally a little bit easier, although Callaghan's had the top end of this engine rebuilt, so perhaps, you know, they aren't the easiest to look after all. So yes, you know, it's one of these things that probably comes with the sort of with the territory of something like this. They are sort of old cars now, and they are old Italian cars, and you know, some people that is ideally what they want, and some people it really isn't. And you're either going to think that this is a fantastic car and you really want one, or you think, well, I could just buy an MX-5. And you could, but that's sort of missing the point. So viewers, is the 916 Alfa Romeo Spider and GTV a good option as a sensible second-hand classic? I think you have to approach one of these in a particular way, in that you know, there are inevitable things with these that might or will go wrong, and that's just the reality of owning, you know, many slightly exotic cars, and Alfa Romeos are no exception to that. They are available for quite affordable prices still, certainly between £1,000 and £5,000, but you do have to be aware of, you know, possibly high maintenance bills and the fact that they're not always as dependable as you might imagine. However, if you do enter into that mindset and think, I really love the styling, I love the way it sounds, I love the way the interior is just so typically Alfa Romeo, then this might be a really good option for you. Lots of other people though will just go and buy an MX-5 or something like that, which is also a good option. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of Sensible Secondhand Classics. I do apologise, it's been a little bit sort of piecemeal and not the best quality today, but you know, I'm still recovering from illness, so that might be something to do with it. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting content. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below, it does really help us out. And we'll see you again soon for more Sensible Secondhand Classics.